The men and women that serve in the capacity of firemen and policemen, when they get to a situation in which they have to respond, they never know what they're really going into.
And while we go running, they go running into the situations. They do it because it's their call of duty.
You know, this is a public service, and I think at one point we realized in our lives that we want to make a difference.
After 9/11, everybody started to see the honor and the dignity and the dedication to service and community by first responders.
You need to tell them how much you care. And that's what's happening with the 100 Club of DuPage. We're getting the message out that we care about the first responders and their families, you know. And if we can take care of them or help take care of them, you know, that's what it's all about.
The 100 Club of DuPage County is an all-civilian organization that gives financial assistance to families of fallen firefighters and police officers killed in the line of duty.
The other thing they do is they also help the families of police officers and firefighters who have suffered perhaps a tragic loss or a severe illness that's not related to the job. So for example, the 100 Club has helped out the family of a police officer who drowned while off duty and on vacation. They've helped out the family of a firefighter who was lost a spouse in a car accident while off duty. So they're not only there to provide immediate assistance for line of duty deaths, but also compassionate assistance for police officers and firefighters who have suffered other losses.
I feel that the 100 Club of DuPage County is doing excellent work. It's very, very meaningful to the families of the firefighters and the policemen within the county. There's been over 30 events over the past 30 years where they've had to come in and help people. 10 of those events are events in which, unfortunately, policemen or firemen have been killed. This causes catastrophic damage for the family, and the 100 Club has been there to provide financial support for them very, very efficiently and very, very fast.
Dan was working his usual midnight shift and was chasing some boys who had broken into the school. And he had apparently actually caught one of them, and he apparently fell over dead from a heart attack. As a widow, everything in your world changes in an instant, except bills. They keep coming. And then you get a gift of money from an organization that cares about police officers. It's right away after you become a widow that, at least for me, that they were there to help me. At a time when everything else in your world has changed except the bills. And that's how they minister to me.
Every year we have our annual meeting, which also includes the Valor Award, and that is emceed by Mayor Pradle, which is a phenomenal night. For those who are nominated for the Valor Award, we do show through a film the acts of bravery. So it's exciting to see that.
When the chief of police for Westmont, Tom Mulhern, told me that I was nominated for this award and that I was going to be the recipient of this award, it struck something different with me. And I think it was different just for the fact that it was a definite life-changing event for me. I mean, being shot at and having to return fire and using the level of force that we used to solve a problem doesn't happen very often out in DuPage County. Granted that we, law enforcement and fire department, we do our job on a daily duty, just saying that it's just our job. This is what we do and this is what we get paid to do.
The call which we received the Valor Award for was on Field Court. It was a 2-story residential structure fire that myself and Ben Bazaire were on the ambulance company, went in, did a primary search, found a victim on the 2nd floor of that residence. We were able to remove him from the building to a standing by medic crew. We turned right back around, went right back into the residence to continue our primary search. When we got to that room, we noticed that the floor that we were just on rescuing the first person had collapsed into the basement. Basically, the way I felt responding to that is you really don't have feelings. You always fall right back onto your training. You get back home and meet with your family and realize how close you were to going down with that floor into the basement.
When People go the extra mile as far as police and fire. It makes me feel very proud, makes me feel very humble, but it also makes me feel like what's going through their mind when they're doing that. You know, I don't think they're worried about themselves. I think they're worried about how can I better serve this community. Yeah, my heart goes out to them, but I feel so proud.
I think people who choose to work in public service like law enforcement or firefighting or the military are just people who have a calling.
And I did it because I was really motivated many, many years ago by my father to serve the people that help us on a daily basis, and it's a way to give back to the public.
I actually started with the Kirkland Fire Department when I moved out into a less populated area and I could join a volunteer department, a volunteer rescue squad. And the genesis of that basically is over years of being in the helicopter 1,000 feet away from somebody's worst nightmare, not being able to do anything. And to be there and be face to face with people who are down on their worst day and being able to help out, that's huge.
The reason we do this job, I think, is to make a difference in one person. You can touch one person's or make somebody's life change. In the time that you're here working, you were successful.
So at Response Team 1, we absolutely take pride in being a supporting member of the 100 Club of DuPage County. It's a tremendous organization. Try to align ourselves with charities and that type of thing within the communities that we're active in to support their efforts. And I can't think of a better one than this one.
I'd like to encourage everyone to be members or donate to the 100 Club of DuPage County. It's really easy to do. Just go right to our website and click on a membership or just to donate, and just know that your money will be used to help those families, police officers and firefighters.
Code 6, 105 North Avenue, 52. Call back units, any call back unit under 20600 Northmont, 600 Northmont, code.
Good evening, everybody. How are you? Thank you, and welcome everybody here to the 34th annual awards dinner and meeting of the 100 Club of DuPage County. My name is Chris Habermill. I'm beside myself. You saw me up on the screen there a little while ago. I'm with WBBM News Radio, AM 780 and 105.9 FM. And by the way, let me see, your WBBM news time is 7:15. Old habits die hard there. Normally I'm all crammed up in your dashboard there, looking at you, putting on your makeup. Yeah, I know you do it in traffic on your way to work. And those French fries under the seat are getting a little bit weird too, but I have been allowed to be here tonight, and what an honor it is to be here. I'm also a firefighter and EMT in Kirkland. Last year, at this time, we were in the process of recovering from the EF4 tornado in Fairdale. That was our incident up there. So Fairdale's come along quite well, and thank everybody for their support. It's great to see all of you again here this evening. Now, a person here who you also saw in that opening video is Mayor George Pradel. George has been facing some health challenges over the past year or so, and he could not be with us tonight. So I have the distinct honor and privilege of reading his words, and I will try to do as good a job as possible given the circumstances, because nobody can introduce a meeting like George Pradel can. Round of applause for George. Let him hear it, because this is being taped. Let him know how much he's missed, how much we love him, and how much he's done for the community. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. No, I will read it straight, but he's the man that I want to be when I grow up. Good evening and welcome to our annual dinner for the 100 Club of DuPage County, where we gather together to honor some very special first responders. All of you here tonight are very special to our communities and the 100 Club. I wish I could be there tonight to join in the festivities, but the big C has really thrown some hard bumps in my everyday road of life. Maybe I can join you next year for the festivities. Please continue to support the 100 Club of DuPage. I salute tonight's recipients. God bless you, God bless America, and we all thank God for all our first responders throughout this great nation of ours. Your friend, George. Notice it wasn't signed Mayor Pradler, former mayor, or what have you, but your friend, George. And as we learned from It's a Wonderful Life, no person is a failure if they have friends. As noted in your program, the 100 Club of DuPage County, established in September of 1982, is a private nonprofit charitable organization incorporated under the laws of the state of Illinois. The club often and offers assistance to families of law enforcement and firefighting personnel who have been killed, injured, or otherwise stricken while residing and working in the county. We open membership to everyone. However, the 100 Club is a total civilian organization. Does not allow any active law enforcement personnel, firefighters, their spouses, and children living in the same household to be members. It's our job as the 100 Club to be their financial support in their hour of need. Now, we're honored to have a number of dignitaries, state and community leaders, and people with great levels of responsibility here tonight to celebrate our Valor Awards recipients and support our fire and police services. It would be difficult, especially for me, since I'm always in the helicopter, I'm 1,000 feet above you guys. So I can recognize you from the top of the head down, that's all. It would be difficult to name each and every one of you, so please know we value your presence and everyone and everything you do for the community. So let's show our appreciation toward our leaders and have any of our community leaders, dignitaries that are with us, the big cheeses here. Come on, guys, stand up. Men and women, pillars of our community, leaders and what have you. Come on. There you go. Give a round of applause for everybody. That's great. That's wonderful. And in very short order, we're going to have my good friend and partner Lisa Savignano and Chaplain Sue Linden get up here, and we will have the singing of the national anthem and the invocation. So here comes Lisa. She's coming up here. And here comes our chaplain, Chaplain Linden. And at this time, I would ask everyone to please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Combined Fire Department Honor Guard of the Lisle Woodridge Fire District and the Firefighters Highland Guard of Naperville. Forward, march. Recover. Present. Arms.
No, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
Set it. On the drums. Tap. Forward. March.
Please join me for the opening prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you and we thank you for this evening. We thank you for our family and friends, and we just ask that you would be with us, and we especially pray for those who are mourning the loss of their loved ones, especially those that served in the line of duty in recent months. And we just pray for safety and protection upon each and every person in this room and for all firefighters throughout this country. And we thank you for this meal that's been prepared before us. And we ask and we pray that our conversations would be to your liking. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
So before I begin the annual meeting, I just want to point out that each of you should have received the program guide and to follow along throughout the remaining of the evening. In that guide, you'll find the club's annual report. You'll also find a review of the club's events, a listing of our dinner sponsors, our corporate members, and an application for membership and donations. So anybody can donate to the 100 Club. And for those civilians in the room, I encourage anyone here who is not already a member to fill out an application form here or online and join this worthy cause. I'd like to recognize tonight's dinner sponsors who have given so generously. The company's Broida and Michelle, an Ideal Insurance Agency, VFIS of Midwest, and John Milner and Associates, Nameplate and Panel Technology, Addison Brits, Kelly Cooper, Gilbert, and Dinolfo, and Sawyer Falduto Asset Management, and also Spraying Systems Corporation. Thank you very much for sponsoring tonight's dinner. So at this, give them a round of applause. So at this point in the program, I'm required to call our annual membership meeting to order. Our financial status is outlined in our program, along with a summary of fundraisers and events that were held this year in honor of the 100 Club. We are truly grateful for those donations received and continue to welcome any individual, group, or organization to name the 100 Club as your charity for your event, tribute, or memorial. So this past year, the club gratefully accepts contributions from several organizations, and there are several noteworthy ones printed in the program. I'd like just to point out the Carroll Stream Professional Firefighters Local 3192. They had their Firefighters Ball this year and donated to the club. The DuPage Fire Chiefs Association at their annual golf outing. We received one of our largest donations this year from the Richard Benevolent Foundation. That's Elwood and Betty Richards. They donated the club $100,000 this year. Elwood and Betty are retired and they live in Lombard at Beacon Hill. I did call and speak with them. They give their love and wish they could be here tonight, but Mr. Richard is very ill. So best wishes to all of you here and also to the Valor Award recipients. We also had a fundraiser that was in conjunction with the 100 Club of Cook County, or 100 Club of Chicago, the Albertsons Company Foundation's the Jewel Osco Fallen Heroes campaign also donated to us $10,000, and this was a campaign that was in conjunction with Chicago. So I truly thank Joe Ahern for spearheading that. We also had a very fun fundraiser with Bloomingdale Fire Department. Our chief, Jeff, Janice, where are you, man? Where are you sitting? Will you raise your hand? Along with Jasper Meats Company in Bloomingdale, they had a wonderful pig roast and donated. They had a big fundraiser and donated to the club. And another one is Exchange Club of Naperville. Thank you so much. I do want to just say a few memorial gifts that were given. There's a memorial gift given for DuPage County Sheriff Gregory Fiegel, did I say his name correctly? Any DuPage County Sheriff people here? Figel, thank you so much. His son, Michael Figel, has a bunch of friends from college. One of them is Corporal Brandon Musgrave. He heard of his father's death and gathered a bunch of Michael's friends to donate in memory of Sheriff Gregory Figel. And so they donated the money, and also Michael matched it as well. So in his memory, we salute you. That was pretty nice. Denise Jennifer Murray gave money in memory of Lawrence Salato, part of the Lawrence Salato Memorial Fund. Also, John Miller donated in memory of Joseph Ed Mendrick. And lastly, Matthew Johnson, who is the son of Deputy Chief Mark Johnson from Hinsdale Fire Department. He gave a memorial gift. So thank you for all of those. We are delighted that our visibility has really improved to the point that these organizations are selecting the club as beneficiary of these charitable efforts. So we thank all of the organizations, individuals, donors for all their tremendous support for this year. So now, as 2017 approaches, we will continue to focus on expanding our services to the individuals and the families we serve. Part of our mission is to provide educational assistance to families of fallen firefighters and police officers. The scholarship program is designed to enable the surviving family members to obtain continuing education, whether for technical school or an institution of higher education. We are thrilled to announce Benedictine University is one of our premier partners as we continue to develop our educational assistance program. And we are truly honored tonight to have Patricia Ariano, Special Assistant to President Brophy for Community Relations here with us tonight. And where is Miss Patricia? Say hi. Give her a round of applause, please. The Hunter Club DuPage board member Kathleen Yasko and executive director of the Hunter Club of Chicago, Joe Ahern, suggested to Pat that she reach out to the board member John Milner and myself about pursuing a connection with the Hunter Club of DuPage. Benedictine University has stepped up and said, yes, we will be there when you need us. So thank you, Pat, and thank you to President Brophy for your support. And we are looking forward to a long and flourishing relationship. So creating relationships and steadfast connections and providing lasting resources so that the Hunter Club can continue to thrive for generations to come is a large part of what the board of directors do. They give their time, they give their talent, their advice, and their leadership. And I am honored and humbled to work with such brilliant minds who volunteer to make this club what it is today. Now, for the board of directors slated for 2017, please stand as I call your name. Stephen Dinolfo. John Feldudo. John Kennedy. Bernadette Larocca from Addison Chamber of Commerce. Michael Adon. Chaplain Sue Linden. John Milner. AJ Novak. Brad Parks from UBS Financial Wealth Management. George Pradle. Judy Sanders. Myself, Lisa Savanago. Gail Smolinski. Martin Tully. Martin Walker. And Kathleen Yasko. There's some brilliance standing in this room. So is there a motion to elect the slated nominees for the board of directors? Yeah, thank you. Is there a second? Second. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. The board of directors will elect their officers in November. Thank you. And one more thing, I would like to thank and acknowledge our chief liaisons, Chief Ray Bird from Lombard. Ooh. W. Chief Bill Holer from Glen Ellen. Chief Andy Bonomo from York Center Fire Protection District, and my retired Chief Bob Tanucci. Where are you, bud? Waving the hand, waving the flag. These liaisons are responsible for helping to felicitate the goals and the objective of the club, Specifically, they each serve in an advisory capacity to the board of directors, so they provide insight about the club's constituents and information about what is going on and around DuPage County through their respective areas of law enforcement and firefighting personnel. So last but not least, Michelle Burr. I have a huge thank you. She did all of our marketing materials and organized a ton of this. Also along in partner in crime, Liz Leahy. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. This thing couldn't get off the ground without you two, so thank you. Also to Richard Brink and Bonnie Buckley from Hilton, our film producer, director, writer, Paul Thompson, and his assistant, Kevin Willman. Yeah, thank you. And also to our photographer, Jim Hawk. So thank you so much. So let's get this program started. Do I have a motion to adjourn this official annual meeting and proceed with tonight's program? Thank you. Yeah, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? So moved. So meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Lisa. How about a round of applause for Lisa Savanago? How about a round of applause for her parents who just recently celebrated their 66th wedding anniversary? How about that? That is amazing. That is amazing. Wow. What a night so far. We've got some awards coming up here. And while we get ourselves kind of in gear here, we're looking at the top of the fifth inning and the Cubs are still up 2-0. So we'll keep you up to date here, even though it looks like the World Series looks like the sunset on the TV back there. So we will keep you up to date with our portable powerhouses here. The iPhone 7, anybody want to take a look? Smarter than I am. Anyway, before we get into the Valor Awards, I want to say a couple quick things here on behalf of myself, because I've been in the media now for the last 25 years. It's a quarter century flying over the top of you folks. Whether you're just a citizen or whether you're a police officer or firefighter, whether you're command personnel or walking the beat, on patrol, or just a uniformed member putting out rubbish fires and responding to car crashes and things like that, I have to tell you that you are our first and most viable line of defense. There's not much of a distance between us and a non-civilized society. And you are the glue that holds not only the country, but society together at large. In the recent past, not only the issues in Chicago, but in other towns across this great country of ours, there have been a lot of issues, and with both police and firefighters, but mainly with the police department. And I gotta tell you, there is so much support and so much love for you guys out there. For the men and women in blue in law enforcement, and that comes from the bottom of my heart too, because we work side by side with our law enforcement partners out in DeKalb County, and from local law enforcement, the state police, the county sheriff, everybody all up and down the line. We can't do it without you guys, so thank you very much for doing that. So 3 rounds of applause for the men and women in blue, of which we're going to salute a lot right now. The members of the 100 Club show the men and women who serve and protect us that their sacrifices, their lives, and their families are important to us. As stated earlier, we are dedicated to helping families of police officers and firefighters who put their lives on the line for us every day doing a dangerous job we cannot do ourselves. And coming up, you're going to see some dash cam video from a couple of different incidents here, some of which is rather harrowing. And I would challenge anybody to go online and put yourself in the shoes of a responding police officer to a very dynamic and ever-changing situation. You don't know how it was called in. You don't know exactly what's waiting for you when you get out of that car. And it's going to demand that you bring your A game to the table all the time. You have to be right all the time. And what other job demands that? As a firefighter, we get to kind of run things over in our mind, whether it's a hazardous materials response or a car crash with extrication or a structure fire. We're going over all the things that we know. But when you're wearing a blue uniform and you're in a fully marked squad car and you've got firepower on your hip and you've got life and death in your hands, and it is your split-second decision that could be the end of the line for somebody. That is a job that is not for everybody. And I don't think the general public really realizes what it is you have to do when you're driving to a scene. Not only do you have to get there safely, because a first responder who's crashed is no good to anybody, but when you get there, you have to make the best decision possible. And your decision is always de-engineered, re-engineered, it's re-examined, it's looked back and forth, the media comes in and whatnot, and it's just something that is amazing to me that you even stay in the job. So you must be highly complimented for that. And believe me, there are a lot of people I know that are out on the street that feel the same way. So if there's ever any adverse publicity, know that there's many, many times more positives for all of you guys. And when your lights are on and you go responding, you know, firefighters, we always get this whole thing, you know, everybody loves the firefighter. They go by in the big red trucks and all the kids want to be firefighters and everything, and we have all of our stations all dolled up because everybody wants to come over and look. I mean, how many people go and say, hey, let's go check out some drunks, or let's go check out some domestic violence suspects? It doesn't happen that way, so they don't get that inside flavor. And a lot of times what they get is Hollywood's view of who you are and what you do, and that things aren't wrapped up nice and neat. You know, in the fire service, we fight ladder 49 and backdraft all the time. Guess what, folks? Fire has smoke with it. You know, you can't see what you're doing when you're inside there. And that you don't come out with a child on your arms with just some nimbus of flame behind there. And it's not, doesn't have a beginning and a middle and an end, and it's not wrapped up in a clean 90 seconds like you have in your basic movie or a movie made for TV. Being out on the street is a tough job. And making the decisions that you do is mind-boggling, that anything gets done, because you're constantly training and meeting new threats, not only domestically, but now you have to think about international things too, even at the local level. What do we have? Maybe we'll have a meth lab, a rolling meth lab in somebody's trunk. But you guys deal with that stuff all the time, and that's huge. That is absolutely amazing to me. So I know Lisa is over there rolling her eyes because I kind of got away from the script. But I could feel your eyes rolling over there. But things need to be said. And being in the media, I don't think they're said nearly enough. That we love you guys. And this life wouldn't be this life without you. So thank you. We've got some amazing plaques and medallions and mementos that for a lifetime will serve the officers that are in this room as a reminder of what they did. They know what they did. They feel it every day. They feel the heat from the fire. They feel the recoil from a weapon. They feel the stillness of the aftermath. They feel the questions. They feel the answers. They feel the glory and they feel the sadness all at the same time. And that's a lot to take in. And so without further ado, I'll tell you about the Valor Awards. To be eligible for the Valor Award, the recipient must be a law enforcement officer or a firefighter whose primary work or assignment is in DuPage County, or who, while in the performance of their duty in DuPage County, performs an act of valor. At this time, I would like to invite any past recipients of this prestigious Award of Valor in attendance tonight to please stand up. Do we have any past recipients of the Award of Valor? A round of applause. The best of the best. And now we come to the meat of the matter. The 100 Club of DuPage County is proud to announce the 2016 Valor Award winners.
11825, code 6, 105 North Avenue, 52. Call back units, any call back unit unknown trouble, 600 northbound, 600 northbound, code 6.
My name is Kristen Zeman. I'm Chief of Police of the Aurora Police Department. And on the evening of January 22nd, 2014, our officers were dispatched to the tollway to search for a state trooper who was not answering his radio. Officer Sam McGeary responded to that incident on the tollway. And when he got there, he saw that there was a very serious crash. It looked like it was involving a semi as well as the state trooper who was identified as Trooper Walden. He described the situation and the scene as very fiery, and he said that they were attempting to locate the trooper. And the trooper eventually staggered out from his vehicle or behind his vehicle, and he was engulfed in flames. He said at that point he and his colleagues went to go render aid to the trooper. And once they knew that the trooper was being tended to, Officer Aguirre saw that the tollway worker, Mr. Petrella, was inside the tollway vehicle. At that point, they could not remove him from the vehicle. Officer Aguirre said that he got there and he couldn't get the door open. And he said he climbed on top of the hood of the vehicle. And he said the smoke was billowing and there was fire. But he said he managed to pull the windshield off, and he was able to reach inside the vehicle while laying on the hood, where he grabbed Mr. Petrella's hand, and he said that he stayed there with him. Officer Aguirre said he thought of nothing else but to stay on the hood of that truck and hold his hand. He did not want to leave him alone.
He's blinking. Anybody stay with me, all right? Help's coming, all right?
At one point, he said he did see him blink, and so he knew he was still with him, but he felt at some time during that he had passed away. And it never in his mind did it escape him, or did he ever think about leaving the hood of that car, even though he was putting himself in danger. He said it never crossed his mind. He said he just wanted to stay with him. And I know that he takes solace in the fact that he wasn't alone at the end of his life, and I know that his family takes solace in that as well. And the fact that Officer Aguirre put his own safety and well-being aside is what I believe makes him deserving of this award, and I thank the 100 Club for considering him.
Liaison on the board right there to come up with us too. Standing ovation.
Sorry, we'll switch places.
You're wearing your hat, you're making me look bad. You know, is that evening when I heard that the crash occurred, I got the phone call, of course, via chain of command. And it's very different. You know, I pulled up my phone and I was reading the notes on there, and it's so matter of fact. You know, the officers responded, and it wasn't until after the fact when I sat down with Sam that I really fully understood what was going through his mind, and how it's just so much more, and the emotions that are going through an officer's mind when they're on the way there. And it truly is just about putting themselves last and saving a life. And I know the helplessness he felt in that moment, where he couldn't do anything, but he did what he could do in that moment. And when he talked about this feat of strength that he felt when he ripped that windshield, and you know how the human body just kind of overcomes, and I'm so proud of him, and I think that it's a great honor for him, and I was just so happy from the 100 Club to nominate him, and my cup runneth over. He absolutely deserves it. Thank you.
Just a few quick words. Yeah, you can please take your seats. I would like to thank Joseph Ruggiero for his nomination for this prestigious award. I saw him earlier. Thank you. Thank you for the 100 Club of DuPage County, not only for this award, but for everything you stand for. Your hard work, dedication, and support to the first responders and their family is not only welcomed, but it's valued. At a time when our law enforcement community has lost so many, organizations such as the 100 Club of DuPage would give us hope for the future. I really do believe I did what every other officer in my position would have done that night. Every person involved with the crash that cold night helped give the best outcome as possible. I specifically want to thank the Aurora Police Dispatchers for ensuring the prompt and thorough use of our available resources. Unfortunately, we lost Vinny that night, but we are blessed to still have Trooper Doug Balder with us. I am thankful for the support of the entire police department. I'm thankful for the friendship that has formed between the Balder family and mine. I have asked for your continued prayers for the family of the Illinois tollway worker, Vincent Petrella. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chief Dave Anderson with the Lisle Police Department. On the morning of October 10th, 2015, our officers received a 911 call for a subject who was trying to forcibly enter a home in the 4400 block of Yender Avenue.
Oh, somebody please hurry and come here.
Okay, my partner's gonna get some police.
Oh my God, it's broken.
Officer J.D. Arnold, Ben Bowman, and Brian Brundle responded to the call.
Alright, I have her back on the phone now. She says they're in the garage right now. Yeah, right behind Ben. I'll have them on the line, let them know where to put. Alright, Lyle, you're set up here at the house. It sounds like someone's breaking into the house again.
They arrived and met with an uncooperative suspect who was kicking and pounding on the rear door to the residence. He was armed at that time with a claw hammer and was hiding his right hand in the front of his body. The responding officers spread out and began giving orders for him to show them their hands. The subject faced away from them and eventually threw a claw hammer at them with his left hand, but refused to show them his right hand and continued facing away from them as they directed him to show them his hands. The suspect spun on them and went into a shooting stance and pointed a shiny object at them. At that time, Officer J.D. Arnold fired the taser, which unfortunately was not close enough for the prongs to reach him. Officer Ben Bowman, fearing that the suspect was going to fire on officers, fired 2 shots. One struck him in the lower chest area, knocking him to the ground. Officers immediately switched into life-saving mode and applied emergency first aid measures to the suspect, who was later transported by Lisle Woodridge Fire Department to Good Samaritan Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. I'm very proud of our officers and the professional manner in which they handled this very difficult situation. I want to thank the 100 Club for awarding Brian Brundle, J.D. Arnold, and Ben Bowman this honor.
Officers Jeremiah Arnold, Benjamin Bowman, and Brian Brundle, and Lisle Police Chief Anderson, please come forward.
I'm very grateful for this opportunity to thank the 100 Club for bestowing this honor upon our officers, Ben, JD, and Brian. At this time when it feels like law enforcement is under siege with all the things that are going on across the country, I couldn't be more proud of the efforts that they took that morning. One of the things that wasn't discussed a lot is they were called there to save a woman who was 59 years old, living at home by herself, when the worst fear that any woman could have, and I've talked to my wife and she's told me, yes, that's the worst fear, because I've worked a lot of midnight shifts over the years, is that someone would try and break in the house and kill her while I was gone. These officers put their lives on the line to rescue one of our community members. Just quick thanks. I also want to thank just a couple of people. I want to thank all of the officers' families. They have to live with all the stress and all the problems and long nights and worry that comes with having their loved ones, their husbands, go out and put their lives on the line for all the rest of us. And I know what sacrifices that is their families have experienced throughout this. And I just wanted to recognize that. I'd like to thank our mayor and elected officials that came tonight to support the officers. I'd like to thank the State's Attorney's Office, Bob Berlin, for doing the investigation and assisting with that he did. Again, in this time of stress and concern over law enforcement shootings, we have the most professional law enforcement community, in my opinion, in the country here with us tonight. I'd also like to reach out and thank the Village of Lisle and the community members, the residents of Lisle, who have done nothing but support these police officers during their time of need and during what it could be potentially the most difficult thing they face as police officers. And I want to thank again the 100 Club and all of you and recognize what you do to support all of the first responders. Thank you.
All right, everybody is speechless, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your attention. You may be seated. The gentlemen are going to be taking their honorariums back to the seats with them. You can see there's a crystal, there is a plaque, and also a plaque for the chief that goes back to the department. So they can take pride in remembrance of things that were done and of this night. Thank you. Thank you again, everybody.
Congratulations to all the recipients of the 100 Club of DuPage County Award of Valor. And on behalf of the Board of Directors and members of the 100 Club, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight. And whether you are an annual participant or here for the first time, we hope that you will join us again next year. Over the years, we've helped both firefighters and police officer personnel and their families through medical tragedies and untimely deaths. Loss of life, injury, and sickness is never an easy part of what we do as a club, but we are there as a club to be there in the families of time and need. And tonight we do have Illinois Trooper Balder here tonight, so thank you for being here. I'm glad you're back. Back in 2013, it was quite a time. But you have a big support group, big civilian support group here for you. So thank you for coming out tonight. So it's these times of needs that this is why your participation tonight and membership to our club is important. Without those funds, we would not be able to assist those sworn personnel who put their lives on the line for us every day. So if you please stand. Chaplain Sue Linden is going to lead us in a benediction, and then we are going to retire the colors. After the colors are retired, you are free to go. So please, God bless, and be safe.
Lord, we thank you for this evening, and we thank you for each and every person here in this room. We thank you for all law enforcement and firefighters and all first responders here and everywhere. We ask for your protection upon us now as we go forward and for your continued protection on this nation. In your name we pray. Amen.
Present. Arm. Order. Arm. Turn to retreat to color. Ready? Retreat. Hey. Oh.